Hello, today is June 24th, 2020, and the time is 11:19 a.m. This video is going to tie into my previous videos. In one of my previous videos, I had mentioned about 15 years ago, people were canceling their birth certificates, and in the United States it's called a social security number, and in Canada it's called a social insurance number. And people were canceling all this stuff and trying to live a normal life. And this was based on something that's called the Freeman on the land movement. And I'm not stating or implying that some of what this is based on doesn't have some sort of truth to it. And I'm definitely not advocating for or against it. I'm just simply giving information so you can make a properly informed conclusion. And I also want to add in this disclaimer that I'm not stating or implying what anyone should say, do, or think. Again, I'm just offering information so you can make a properly informed conclusion. Now, lately I've been noticing a lot of people in the anti-mask movement taking the suggestions of the self-proclaimed anti-mask gurus. And one of the things that I'm seeing more and more now, people printing off their own mask exemption cards. And this ties into the birth certificate and the SSN numbers and the SIN numbers, because around 20 to 15 years ago, people were doing the same thing, for example, with their driver's licenses. They were canceling their driver's licenses and printing off their own cards to be able to drive without a driver's license. And this caused a whole series of problems for these people. And at first, and people would go to court and try to argue this Freeman on the land common law jurisdiction. And again, it's not to say that that movement didn't have some truths in there, and that's a whole different topic. I addressed this in videos years ago when all this was at its prime. And just on a side note, you have to understand that that particular movement just kind of faded away, and there's a reason why it faded away. I'm digressing. So people now are trying to do the same thing that this Freeman on the land movement tried to do over a decade ago. Have their little exemption cards. Now, at first, people would go to court when it comes to, say, using the driver's license example, and try to argue, their card and how it's exempted them. Now, you got to keep in mind, this is we're dealing with government issued documents. And at first, it appeared that these people were having some sort of success with regards to having their little exemption card. And I want to highlight appeared. Initially, I don't think the courts or anyone knew how to handle what was being presented to them. So, yes, and I'm not implying that they had success initially either. It's just no one knew how to really get around it. And I'm sure a lot of the people in the courts thought that these people were just simply crazy. But eventually, that little exemption card that they were using to replace a driver's license began to fail miserably. People were being fined, even jailed. And there's a lot of stories of contempt. You hear a lot of people talking about, oh, it was successful, we've done this, we arrested the judge, and all this other nonsense. But you never hear anything following up to that. What was the follow-up? Nothing. Because there's no success. And even still, people buy into the whole Freeman on the land movement. And yeah, So now the anti-maskers want to have their mask exempt card, and it's going to have the same effect. It doesn't mean anything. All it is your security blanket. Just like the maskers, their security blanket and their virtue signaling is wearing the mask. Your virtue signaling and your little security blanket is this little card, and it's useless and it's a waste of time. I know a lot of people are arguing, but laws and constitution, and I address all this in previous videos. And if you want to print off a card, go ahead. If you want to carry it around and show it and whatever, then that's on you. I'm just simply highlighting that this type of thing has been tried before and failed miserably. Okay? It seems like I'm highlighting the wrongs with what people are trying to do. Well, in order to understand what's going on, you have to look at the facts, accept everything, and that's all I've been doing with my videos so far, is highlighting what this latest COVID social justice movement is about and the kind of battle it is. I suppose, as with any real virus, you have to let it run its course. And what I mean by that is these people who are in any social justice movement always end up becoming the snake that eats its own tail. In the meantime, you just have to ride it out. And things are going to get worse. And this mask thing is just a precursor to mandatory vaccines and being microchipped and who knows what else is coming down the pipe that we don't even know about. And none of this that's being imposed on the people today around the world, this has nothing to do with your country or your politics. This is worldwide. This has been in the works for a very long time. No one several months ago just woke up one morning and said, oh, this is what we're going to do now, without giving every angle serious consideration. That's what you're up against. So I just wanted to share that with you for what it's worth. Take it or leave it. I don't care. It's on you. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.